Thanks for clicking on Damon Bruce Plus. Like and subscribe. We're brought to you by Ike Sandwiches, and we got breaking news. The first big piece of breaking news from the NFL this offseason involving a trade. Deebo Samuel is going to Washington. He is a commander for a fifth rounder. It's being reported right now that Deebo Samuel has been traded. Let's just start with what we know. This guy was at his best with the 49ers just a few years ago, and the Niners were at their best when Deebo was at his best. He gave them an elements of offensive violence that really defined who they were. I got a lot of respect for Deebo Samuel, and I'm surprised that this situation deteriorated as quickly as it did. Kyle Shanahan really liked Deebo Samuel, and it felt that that was mutual. But for whatever reason, Humpty Dumpty could not be put back together, and the interest in moving on from him, getting out from underneath this money at this time, dominated the conversation and the thinking for the 49ers as they go into a year where Ricky Pearsall and an injured Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings are their receiver core right now. So it does change offseason priorities a little bit. A fifth rounder back for Deebo. About the return I think that you could most hope for. Because the player that Deebo was is no longer the player that Deebo is. And I'm not surprised to see that Samuel finds himself with a team that he's got a direct connection with, Adam Peters. All that offseason flirting between Brandon Ayuk and Jaden Daniels when Ayuk was going through his holdout. I wonder how jealous he is that Deebo Samuel's going to be the next guy to play for him. Now, I got to tell you, if I'm Terry McLaurin, I'm not really worried about Deebo showing up and taking too much away from me. I think Deebo's a diminished asset. Now, if he's going to come in great shape, chip on his shoulder, let me show it to you, everybody kind of a Deebo, if that's what the Commanders get, they've got a good player. But how much longer can this player, who's had an awful lot of tread worn off of his tires, has had an awful lot of trouble being consistent, finding separation from corners, and, Deebo told everyone, it ain't me, it's you. And then he went out and had some of his highest profile drops of the entire year. Deebo just is not who we remember from a few years ago. When used as a running back in the special unicorn way that makes him Deebo Samuel, it absolutely doesn't pop nearly like it used to. Now, is that a little offensive line and 49er offensive problems, and nobody had a great year offensively, and that's all true. But Deebo Samuel, I think, is in the center of his own regression as much as any player is in the center of his own regression on the team this year. He wasn't good as a running back. He wasn't good as a wide receiver. His best contribution most likely came on special teams, and maybe they asked him to play a little bit more special teams, and Deebo said, no, that ain't it. I don't know. We'll see what he does in Washington, but huge breaking news. The first bit of breaking news. I mean, there are big conversations that happened in Indianapolis during the Combine, and obviously a big conversation was had between the 49ers and the Commanders. Deebo Samuel, bonsoir. Thanks for the memories. It was a good run, but it has come to a screeching halt. I'm surprised that the 49ers couldn't get a contract year. I'm surprised that there was an incentive to repair it just based on there might be a little something left in this player, or really, maybe it really is the right time to say goodbye because a fifth rounder is the best you're going to get for this distressed asset. Very interesting chapter. The 49ers chapter of Deebo has closed for a trade of a fifth-round pick from the Washington Commanders. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a great day. The off season is officially on, baby.